जो देता है स्वास्थ्य भी कुदरती।
Lina Premium Dates. Someone to bring your vision into reality. When human vision meets artificial intelligence, storytelling enters new territory. Two distinct categories: brand films, short films, evaluated by the best of the best. Seen by those who shape the industry. Rewarded with a 10 lakh rupee prize pool. Celebrated at What India Thinks Today, Delhi. AI Squared Awards, where artificial intelligence meets artistic imagination.
The LPG shortage is now being felt across several cities in India. Restaurants, households and small businesses are struggling to cope. From eateries switching to electric stoves to hotels returning to coal. From long queues outside gas agencies to canteens warning of food shortages, our reporters travelled across the country to bring you the ground reality. In Bengaluru, the LPG shortage is now forcing restaurants to change the way they cook. Our ground report from show how eateries are switching to electric alternatives to stay open. This was done by my colleague Mohammad Wajiullah. And let me tell you, Mohammad Wajiullah and Professor Bijon Mr. Consumer Policy Expert, both of them will remain on my show. Thank you both of you. But you know, Professor Mr. you need to see the report filed by Wajiullah.
Please, hot vadas, hot dosas, and that is a reality that we are seeing very soon. I'm right now at the new Udupi Upahar, a pure veg restaurant at the heart of the city, and as you can see, a deserted look at the restaurant because a lot of things from the menu have been cancelled because of the ongoing cylinder crisis that we are seeing, the LPG crisis that we are seeing in the city. The kitchen has been hit badly. You can see the crowd has also stopped, and the restaurant is facing a lot of problems. I'm joined in by the manager over here of this restaurant. Sir, पहले आपका नाम सर?
गोपाल आर पुजारी।
अच्छा गोपाल जी, एलपीजी सिलेंडर्स के प्राइसेस और एलपीजी सिलेंडर्स के शॉर्टेज की वजह से क्राइसिस क्या महसूस हो रहा है आप लोगों को?
प्राइसेस में कुछ भी आइटम तैयार करने को नहीं हो रहा है। हम लोग चाइनीज और नॉर्थ इंडियन क्लोज किया है, खाली साउथ इंडियन चलाता है। डोसा बनाते हैं, इसका करंट का चोला लाया उसमें बनाता है। अभी सुबह राइस भात, इडली वड़ा, डोसा, सांभर भी देते हैं फिलहाल। अभी कब तक दे सकते वो भी नहीं बोल सकते। गैस है तब तक दे रहा है। और लकड़ी का जो चोला बनाने के लिए पीछे बिल्डिंग वाला का प्रॉब्लम है, धुआं आते हैं, वो आते कंप्लेंट दे रहे हैं। अच्छा। लेकिन हम लोग वो नहीं कर सकते, इसके लिए बहुत तकलीफ उठाना पड़ा।
लेकिन आप लोग लकड़ी का चूल्हा का अरेंजमेंट किए?
अरेंजमेंट करने को नहीं देते, बिल्डिंग वाले का बहुत प्रॉब्लम है। पीछे बिल्डिंग का धुआं आते करके वो लोग को नहीं देगा। हम लोग को जोर से बात करेगा तो वो लोग को हम लोग को ऊपर एक्शन लेते हैं। इसके लिए हम लोग उधर पीछे कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते।
एक बार हमें अपना
भी नहीं कर सकते, इसके लिए ऐसा प्रॉब्लम है।
एक बार हमें अपना किचन दिखाइए, बताइए सिचुएशन क्या है आप लोगों का, कैसे डिफिकल्टी आप लोगों को महसूस हो रही है, so that we'll be able to give a clearer picture to our audience. While the government, on the other hand, is saying that there is no shortage. We've seen the Chief Minister Tejas Surya also writing a letter to Hardeep Singh Puri over natural gases, but the hotel owners are telling you a different story altogether. Sir, बताइए सर।
जी, अभी सुबह एक बार ये सब रेडी करके लिया, ये सब खाली होने तक हम बेचते हैं, बाद में खाली होने खाली
होने के बाद खाली। यूजुअली अदरवाइज कैसा रहता है सिचुएशन?
सर बहुत अच्छा रहता है। हम लोग को जैसा खाली होता है जैसे बना के देता है, जैसा चाइनीज हो या साउथ इंडियन, ये लॉस्ट है, साउथ इंडियन लॉस्ट है नहीं। डोसा का ये जो है अभी चल रहा है, और 3 बजे के बाद नहीं। और चाइनीज और नॉर्थ तो कंप्लीट बंदी की है। अभी थोड़ा ग्रेवी कुछ बना के रोटी तंदूरी, वो कोयला का रोटी बनाते हैं, और तंदूरी रोटी उसको बना के देते हैं। अभी डोसा चल रहा है। और आज ही एक करंट वाला वो ये लिया, चोला ले लिया है, वो चलाने अभी चालू नहीं किया, आज ही लिया। आपको दिखाता हूँ।
So right now they have also taken a new electric cooker because there is no guarantee of the gas supply. So this is a new cylinder that they have taken which runs on electricity. ये इलेक्ट्रिसिटी से चलता है?
अभी हाँ, ये इलेक्ट से पावर है इसको। आज कल ही लिया, हम आज चालू करके रेडी किया। कल से इससे होते क्या देखे नहीं, इससे तकलीफ है, वो टेस्ट भी नहीं दे सकते हमको।
यानी अब इलेक्ट्रिसिटी भी बहुत ज्यादा हो जाएगा?
ज्यादा होएगा, और चाय के लिए भी एक्सेट जो आते हैं ना, वो उसका प्रेस्टेज का वो लिया।
Okay. So you can see the situation on the ground here. We are inside the kitchen of the new Udupi Upahar, and this is the new electric dosa stuff that they have taken to make dosas, because dosa is a very hot item in this part of the city, and making them there is a big demand for it, and that is why now they have changed it into electricity. Now they are worried that their electricity bills will also go high. They have taken a coal ले रहे हैं आप लोग?
अभी तो ना ओल्ड स्टॉक है, जो कोई मिल रहा है, लेकिन उसका नाम नहीं बोल सकते, प्राइस भी नहीं बोल सकते, वो कल भी नहीं देगा। पैसा तो ज्यादा डबल या ट्रिपल लेते हैं, लेकिन बोल नहीं सकते। अगर बोलेगा तो कल हमको नहीं देगा वो। हाँ, ऐसा।
Okay, so this was our ground report from Bengaluru. I'm joined by Mohammad Wajihullah and Professor Bijan Misra. Wajji, is this really that acute? Is it really that acute? Is this really that acute, Wajji? The shortage?
Audio is very shaky.
Okay, and
this is a situation, I think. So most, Kartikeya, close to 50 to 60% of restaurants are facing crisis in Bengaluru right now. When it comes to commercial LPGs, you're seeing that today the food minister also spoke, and he did a meeting with GAIL, IOC, and almost every other suppliers, and he got us a ground situation of the reality and said close to 1.5 week this situation might continue, and you never know, because the ships are not coming in, the supply is not there. So commercial cylinders will be affected for some more time, at least for a minimum of 1.5 weeks to 10 days is what the minister has said clearly when it comes to commercial cylinders. But when it comes to domestic, what he's gone on to say is that we may not see that much of an effect on domestic. Now, I spoke to a lot of agencies, and one of the agencies told me that today, as we speak, he has got orders for 2,500 cylinders, and he's only got 300 cylinders with him in his distribution center, and his order demand is of 2,500. He's got 2,500 bookings. So you see, there's a lot of panic. People are concerned with regards to the situation that has been created. And when you see the restaurants getting not getting the cylinders, the mindset is automatically affecting the households also. And that is where they're feeling that pinch, and that is where there is this lot of panic that we're seeing around.
Okay. Professor Misra, there was a press conference today. I want you to hear the bite from the senior ministry official, and I would like you to respond to it, sir. Let's play that bite.
हमारा crude inventories are very high, are in good position. Our refineries are working at 100% capacity or more. हमारी refineries की inventories are fine. So is the LPG. So LPG की shortage नहीं है, इसीलिए आपके माध्यम से मैं बार बार लोगों सभी कंज्यूमर से अपील कर रही हूँ कि जो लोग LPG से PNG पर शिफ्ट हो सकते हैं वो तुरंत शिफ्ट हों. जैसा कि मैंने आपको अभी बताया, 60 लाख ऐसे परिवार हैं जो तुरंत LNG पर PNG पर शिफ्ट हो सकते हैं. उनके घर के पास में अवेलेबिलिटी है, कनेक्शन बहुत त्वरित मिल सकता है. इसीलिए कहा because we don't have the shortage of PNG.
Okay, that's an important point, sir. Your comments on this, shifting from LPG to PNG?
So why wasn't it done earlier? My question is this. You see, we have been wanting this to happen in India much longer time, where all the colonies needed to be put into that network of LNG, but people are sleeping. You see, the point which I am making is that there are a number of agencies involved. Now, this is only the Petroleum Ministry in the Delhi headquarters is talking to the media. Where is the local government? I'm more interested to know about the municipal government, because that's the local government. That they are the ones who allow, to set up the network. They allow agencies to ensure that there is no barrier created in terms of erecting this network. Now, they are not in the picture. They don't even come into the picture, because you see, again, the dealers who deal with LPG, they don't want LNG to spread in the country. There is a resistance from them because it's again an issue, where it's a convenience of the consumers. The consumers have to get convenient fuel. Now, that is why there is an option, there's a choice that you can have LPG as well as LNG, and you will be amazed to know. Today I got evidences where in Chennai, the restaurant owners have started adding additional cost towards gas in the bill.
Okay.
I mean, it is
That's
amazing.
incorrect.
I have sent you the evidence.
Okay.
So that display it. I don't have your number. I have sent it to.
Okay. You send it. You can send it to me after the show. That's not an issue.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to tell you is that there is a rampant misuse in terms of the shortage.
Okay.
My friends who are in business, they are terribly disturbed because their business is getting hampered. But they confess that when they went to the godown, they could get 4 cylinders for their consumption. But when they are asking for it, they're not getting it because the booking has been closed. Now, why is that happening? I'm not able to understand that. You see, the point I am trying to make is that the authorities should understand that this is the time they need to get into action. They need to help consumers to ensure that they will get the cylinder near their mohalla, how they can coordinate with the oil companies to see that the truck go directly.
Okay. Let me play out 2 reports, so that people can have an understanding as to how and at how many layers it is being affected. It's not that as if the government is not doing its best, but then we have to see the story from the people's perspective. That's where the journalism is. So in Kolkata, the LPG crisis is now hitting the heart of the city's cricketing ecosystem. With gas in short supply and coal banned by the High Court, canteens are warning clubs that even feeding players could soon become a challenge.
Yeah.
Amid growing LPG crisis all over the state, the impact also shown in the Kolkata Maidan also. There are several canteens in the Kolkata Maidan and the LPG stocks are run out. The staffs of the canteen already told to the club officials that they will not continue and they will not able to serve the adequate food for the cricketer because currently the CAB league is going on and there are many cricketers come to play at the Maidan and who are dependent to the Kolkata Maidan canteen. But the LPG stocks run out and the canteen will shut down soon and the cricketer will face a huge problem.
And that's not all. I present a small report from Bhopal. It's a ground report. We show you how the LPG crisis are also affecting a community which is in middle of the holy month. Yes, I'm talking about Ramzan. And many families and people have to fall back on firewood for cooking.
रमजान का पाक महीना चल रहा है, रोजाना ही रोजा इफ्तारी हो रही है और ऐसे में एलपीजी सिलेंडर को लेकर देश भर में संकट चल रहा है। इसी बीच क्या कुछ रास्ता निकाला जा सकता है? भोपाल में इससे पहले लकड़ी जलाने पर जुर्माना था, 10,000 रुपए का फाइन था, मगर जिस तरह से कमर्शियल सिलेंडर को बैन किया गया है उसके बाद से लकड़ी जलाने पर जो प्रतिबंध था उसे हटा दिया गया है। फिलहाल जो तस्वीरें देख रहे हैं आप, ये भोपाल का कोहे फिजा इलाका है। रोजा इफ्तारी शाम को होना है, उससे पहले खाना बन रहा है, सैकड़ों लोगों का खाना बनता है और ये जितना भी पकवान या खाना आप देख रहे हैं ये लकड़ी के चूल्हे पर बन रहा है। तो ये तस्वीरें आप देखिए कि नई नई चीजें जो हैं वो अब हमें देखने को मिल रही है और लकड़ी पर, हालांकि ये बात भी सही है कि ये पहली दफा नहीं है जब लकड़ी से खाना बन रहा हो, मगर यहाँ पर आमतौर पर अगर 4-5 सिलेंडर लगते थे तो अब 1 या 2 सिलेंडर ही इस्तेमाल किए जा रहे हैं। मगर जब ये प्रतिबंध हट गया है पूरी तरह से तो फिर आप पूरा खाना देखेंगे कि लकड़ी के चूल्हे पर ही जल रहा है। यहाँ पर इनसे बातचीत करते हैं। क्या नाम है भाई साहब आपका? मुस्तफा भाई, आप बताएं कि जो कमर्शियल सिलेंडर पर प्रतिबंध लगाया उसके बाद हम तो यहाँ पर देख रहे हैं कि पूरा खाना ही आपका लकड़ी के चूल्हे
चढ़ी हुई है मेरी, और 5 आप देखिए लकड़ी के चूल्हों पे ही चढ़ी हुई है। सिलेंडर का अभी क्योंकि मिल नहीं रहे थे तो कोई काम ही नहीं था यहाँ। काम तो था बहुत, बट अब एक ऑल्टरनेट हमने निकाला है लकड़ी के चूल्हों पे, तो अब देखते हैं लकड़ी के चूल्हों का मजा।
कितने लोगों का यहाँ पर इफ्तारी के लिए खाना बनता है?
यहाँ अभी मेरा आज 1,000 लोगों का प्रोग्राम है शाम को, जी, तो अब उसी के खाने की तैयारी चल रही है और सब लकड़ी के चूल्हों पे चल रही है।
कमर्शियल सिलेंडर नहीं मिला आपको?
मिला नहीं, मैंने हालांकि 2 दिन से बुकिंग डाल रखी है, बट मुझे सिलेंडर नहीं मिला, तो अब उसका अल्टरनेट निकाला है प्रोग्राम, क्योंकि स्थगित करनी।
प्रतिबंध भी हटाया गया है?
प्रतिबंध जी हाँ, लकड़ी के ऊपर से हटाया गया है, जो फाइन थे पहले अब वो शायद कैंसिल कर दिए गए, तो बस अब काम चल रहा है।
तो जब तक काम चल सकता है आप इसी तरह से चलाएंगे?
बिल्कुल चलाएंगे, अब पुराने जमाने में भी यही टेक्निक थी, सिलेंडर तो नए जमाने के थे।
लकड़ी कितनी महंगी पड़ रही है आपको?
अब सस्ता महंगा क्या देखना, अब अपना प्रोग्राम था वो करना ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट था।
चलिए, तो कुल मिलाकर किसी तरह की कोई रुकावट ना हो, और इसी के चलते जितने भी यहाँ पर आप चूल्हे देख रहे हैं वो लकड़ी के ही चल रहे हैं, और कई जगह हम देख रहे हैं कि इंडक्शन का इस्तेमाल हो रहा है, तो आप कई जगह लकड़ी के चूल्हों का भी इस्तेमाल देखने को मिल रहा है।
Professor Mishra, in terms of diversification of the cooking fuel, what are the alternatives that should be done? Because you know every crisis creates an opportunity for better policy implementation. This is not of the making of the government of the day, it's because of the war that is taking place. But then nonetheless, it tells us a story. We need to diversify. Where should the diversification take place? How should the diversification be implemented? What are the easy and cheap options available for poor people? Because this is really affecting the poor people.
Kartikeya, very beautiful question you've asked. You know, very nice question you've asked. Because, you see, what do the consumers look for is choice. And they look for affordability and accessibility. You know, the consumers are always looking for value for money, accessibility, affordability, and choice. So the lesson we should learn from here is that we cannot depend on the supply chain which is existing today. We could see that with a little bit of disruption, the whole country has gone into a turmoil. And it has established the fact that we need to have options and choice given to the consumers and given it in an open manner. You cannot say now that we need to preserve nature, we can't cut trees, we can't do this, we can't do that. No, we have to now keep options available. And I know, as I was telling you earlier, some of my business friends, they've already started using coal in their factory where they were only using gas. You know, so my contention is that people, the consumers always also look for options. They will find options and they will do it. However, how much of law you bring into implementation. So my small point to you is that the lesson is the government has to keep options ready for such situations where they cannot manage the supply chain effectively and efficiently. They have proved that they don't have an effective and efficient supply chain management system in place. They don't keep stocks in the manner it should be kept. They don't give alarm to citizens in advance. They don't give options to the citizens on the consumers to get options which would help them to access food or access, the fuel which they need for cooking. It's an commodity.
Vajji, Ramzan preparations affected in Bengaluru?
Absolutely. I had just gone a few minutes back to break my iftar, and I usually see them cooking on cylinders, but today I saw them using firewood. And just now we just got a statement from the forest minister saying that there is a large scale of firewood that has been used by people as in restaurants, and there will be vigilance now because many trees will get cut, and that is something that they don't want to happen in Bengaluru. So you are going to see this trickle down very deeply, because a lot of restaurants that we went to today, they have said that they've cut down their menu from 15 to 20 dishes to 6 to 7 dishes. And these are big chain restaurants that I'm talking about. You can imagine how the situation will be on those which are one restaurant which run on 2 cylinders on a daily basis. One of the hotel owners told me a very interesting thing, that during demonetization we stood in lines and we were told that things will be, there is no shortage of money, money will come. We stood in line. Then during oxygen cylinders, we stood in line. We said that there will be cylinders. Now during LPG, we are again standing in lines. And this is how the situation is. While they're saying that there is nothing changing on the ground, but when you come to the ground, you see there is a huge difference from what the government is telling you and what the people are facing. and that is something. There's that pinch is something that they're feeling.
Okay.
Now that were commercial owners.
Okay,
Now,
but
residents
fair
have
enough,
a
fair enough. I'll come to
different
that. There is one more ground, Bajji, I know you have a lot to say. There's one more ground report left, and that is from National Capital. The LPG crisis is also hitting our capital. In Delhi's Jhandewala, residents say that they have been running from one agency to another for the past 2 days, but cylinders remain out of reach. Some allege that LPG cylinders are now being sold in the black market. Now, the issue is, how does this gap be bridged? How does this panic and anxiety be taken care of? Yes, the press conferences are being done every day. The messaging is being done. But how does it reach the people? But let me just play out this ground report first.
एलपीजी गैस सिलेंडर की मांग को लेकर यहाँ पे लोग आए हैं, लेकिन अभी इन्हें कोई जवाब नहीं मिला। आप कहाँ से आए?
बाहरगंज से, नवीकरण से।
किस तरह की दिक्कतें आपको?
दिक्कतें हो रही है। 26 तारीख को बुक कराया, अभी तक सिलेंडर घर पे आया नहीं। छोटा छोटा बच्चा है, 5 दिन से सिलेंडर नहीं है। 1 किलो 2 किलो भराते हैं, 500-600 रुपए किलो का प्राइवेट से भरता है, खत्म हो जाता है। रमजान का दिन ऐसी खाना बन ही नहीं रहा है। बच्चा स्कूल नहीं जा रहा है, घर में बैठे हुए हैं, छोटा छोटा बच्चा सब है। 3 दिन से लेके आए हैं, चौथा दिन लेके आए हैं, लाइन में लगा के खड़ा कर दिए हैं।
किस तरह की दिक्कतें आपको हो रही हैं?
बहुत ज्यादा परेशानी हो रही है सर, बच्चों को, हमारे को, छोटे छोटे बच्चे सर स्कूल जाना है, खाना नहीं है, दूध नहीं है, चाय नहीं है, नाश्ता नहीं, बहुत परेशानी है सर। सरकार सुन नहीं रही है सर, बुकिंग करवाया जब भी सब नहीं आ रहा गैस, बहुत परेशानी हो रही है सर, बहुत ज्यादा, बहुत परेशान हो रहे हैं बच्चे, छोटे छोटे बच्चे सर कहाँ जाएंगे, स्कूल कैसे जाएंगे, खाना कैसे खाएंगे।
छोटे सिलेंडर में गैस भरवा गए, गुजारा कर रहे हैं, किस तरह से भूखा तो रहेगा नहीं इंसान।
300 रुपए किलो, 300 रुपए किलो, 400 हो गए, 400 रुपए किलो सिलेंडर हो रहा है। बाहर से भरवा के छोटा, वो भी मुश्किल है, मिल नहीं रहा।
वो भी खाना बन रहा था।
चूल्हे पे बना रहे, बहुत से गैस ला रहे हैं, इंडक्शन ला रहे हैं, उससे हो रहा है।
वो तो कुछ तो करना ही पड़ेगा।
बच्चे स्कूल जा पा रहे हैं आपके?
अभी तो छुट्टी है, पेपर था तो इसलिए अभी थोड़ा परेशानी नहीं, मगर फिर हमारा 28 तारीख को बुक हुआ, अभी तक नहीं आया सिलेंडर। अब आप नंबर में लगे, आप पता नहीं मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा।
हर चीज में कहीं कुछ हो
सकते हैं कि यहाँ पर काफी भीड़ जो है वो आपको लोगों की नजर आएगी। एहतियात के तौर पर दिल्ली पुलिस के जवानों को यहाँ पे तैनात किया गया है, जो कि यहाँ पर पब्लिक को समझाते हुए नजर आ रहे हैं। सिलेंडर ना मिलने की वजह से यहाँ पे लोग जो है वो परेशानी क्रिएट ना करें, किसी भी तरह का हंगामा ना हो, इसी के चलते एहतियात के तौर पर दिल्ली पुलिस आपको तस्वीरों में नजर आएगी। तो साफ है कि सिलेंडर ना मिलने की वजह से लोग जो है वो काफी परेशान है। कुछ लोग ऐसे जिनकी शिकायत है कि वो लगातार एजेंसी में पहुंचते हैं, लेकिन यहाँ से उन्हें निराशा हाथ लगती है। तो साफ है कि कहीं ना कहीं सिलेंडर की किल्लत जो है वो देखने को मिल रही है।
Okay, so Professor Bijan Mishra, are we really prepared for a longer exposure? This is an exposure of 12 days. Suppose the war continues for say another 25 days, and Iran actually decides to choke the Strait of Hormuz. 60% of the oil, our LNG, our gas comes from the Strait of Hormuz. Out of 60% of the gas is imported, and out of that 90% is from Hormuz. So, what does this mean for us?
It means that, Kartikeya, we must understand and we must convey to the people, authorities who are responsible to ensure proper supply chain is in place. They need to get into a serious action mode, which I still see they are not. And your visuals are exposing that people are able to access the product at a premium. Now that means the product is available. You see, Kartikeya, please try to understand. There is an artificial shortage getting created. Now that artificial shortage needs to be taken care by law, which the law has also got promulgated. So the authorities are now supposed to get into serious action.
Crack down against these hoarders.
Yeah, and you see, what I can't identify the hoarders. It is the authorities who have to identify them, who have been mandated and empowered to do that. They have all the powers to do that. They have all the manpower resources with them. What is the resources doing? We have a huge number of inspectors. We have huge numbers of police people. We have a huge number of government officials who are sitting on their chair and doing nothing. They should be brought onto the street to help to carry the cylinders and reach it home of the citizens, so that the citizens can start believing that the government is serious, government is empathetic, government is trying to be sensitive, government wants that they should not be standing in the queue and becoming a party to the black marketing which is going on. My contention is only if the government insulates these black marketeers from coming in contact with the distressed consumers, this game will continue. This game will 100% continue. Because what I can see from your visuals, people are able to get the supply, but they are getting it in a rationed manner because somebody is trying to hoard and make money out of this. That nexus needs to be exposed, which is not getting exposed. And this is where I want to figure out how we can do that. Because even you as a journalist, you will not be allowed to get into those premises, which, the police is authorized to do it. The inspectors are authorized to do that.
I think if we can manage COVID, we can also manage this. India managed COVID wonderfully. I mean to say it's a country of 1 billion people. Not only we were able to manage COVID, but we were also able to help out African countries. I mean to say the so-called Anglo-Saxon democracies, they left Africa and, the Asian countries, the poorer countries, without any vaccines. They hoarded it. Every one of them hoarded it. India as a country helped them. So I don't think that this entire crisis is beyond redemption. It can be very much India has the capacity to absorb this shock and deal with it. I completely agree with you. But the only issue is this administrative hiccup. Our ground report is about the perspective of people. What people feel, what's happening on ground, because that's true journalism. But with true journalism, there is also a responsibility to say that people shouldn't panic, and that is why we are saying that the LPG is available. So your point is also very important. LPG is available, people shouldn't panic, which means that there is a problem somewhere. Yesterday you were talking about inability of the states to distribute it properly. Vaji, 30 seconds to you.
The story that we're seeing right now, Kartikeya, is basically old story in new cylinders. If you remember when the petrol problems used to happen a few years back, and the government would increase the prices, one day before itself, the petrol bunks would shut their bunks and say that there is shortage of fuel. And the next day they would supply fuel when the prices would increase. This is what we are seeing when it comes to LPGs also. And that is something that they are utilizing, and what Mr. Bijoy said is something similar to what we are seeing on the ground also.
Absolutely spot on. On this note, I really need to end the show. I need to pass on this baton. But we'll have another day to talk. But yes, that's the point. There should be a stricter, harder, and a deeper crackdown against those who are trying to disrupt the market and trying to make profit when there's a global crisis. So this is all I had on Point tonight. I'll see you next week at the same time. Thank you and good night.
हमें स्वस्थ रखने वाली सारी चीजें ज्यादातर शुद्ध होनी चाहिए। सूर्य की किरणें और स्वच्छ पानी, वैसा ही है लायन अरेबियन डेट्स। और अब लायन लायना डेट्स, इसमें फाइबर्स और विटामिन्स भी कुदरती हैं, जो देता है स्वास्थ्य भी कुदरती।
लायन लायना प्रीमियम डेट्स।
I fight till the very last point. I know, but he's better than me. He's going to beat me, but I'm going to give it my best. I don't give up.
But are you an extremist?
I am.
No grey, either black or white. You have gone for impact, not immediacy. And you have fostered legacy, not volume.
For so many years, many years I had not seen a flop. My films typically open, 25 crores, 35 crores, high numbers. I don't expect my film to open at 5 crores.
You're completely different, and again you're a lone man standing there. To me, Aamir Khan lives that line, Akla Cholode.
When I picked Tare Zameen Par, the material really touched my heart and I wanted to be a part of it. But at the same time, I knew that 200 crore ki film nahi hai bhai. 200-300 crore ki film hai hi nahi. But I still want to make it.
Is it being a little unfair towards Bollywood, bringing in that nepotism and a nepo kids aspect?
I was, pretty certain that we should go ahead with Junaid as the lead in Lal Singh Chadda. Finally, when I did the film also, I used to keep referring to Junaid. I haven't told anyone this.
I would not hesitate to call you a structural disruptor.
When I first read the Mahabharata, because by then I had seen a lot of some of the big international films, Mahabharata is the mother of it all.
It will put Game of Thrones, etc. to shame if we can create Mahabharata in a global scale.
But यार वो 70 mm में देखने का मतलब कुछ मजा ही और होगा यार.
I understand that money doesn't drive you, right?
No, money doesn't drive you.
So what drives you?
And a lot of people ask me that, what do you do to motivate yourself? I'm like, I don't do anything, I'm motivated. I don't have to do anything to be motivated.
News9, always on point, no noise.
How the dragon is leveraging US tariff pressure to rewrite World Trade Order. Beijing aims global dominance.
That was a very strong attack.
Only sharp, powerful insights that matter to you. Stories that are unmissable.
No more tolerance to unruly passengers on Indian flights.
In your interest.
This edition of In Your Interest.
Every time. Fastest alerts, hard facts, nuanced 360-degree analysis. India's largest news network. From the Northeast to the far South, we reach every corner. From breaking stories to in-depth reporting. When the world changes, News9 leads from the front. News9, on top, always.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News9, English news as it should be.
Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in to your favorite news destination. You're watching In Your Interest with me, Kabir Naqvi, and on the first segment on IYI, wars all across us, and the future wars. That's going to be our focus. It's not going to be fought with just tanks and aerial superiority. We're talking about cyber, rocket departments. We're talking about data as part of military offensive. So over the course of the next 25 minutes, let's try and decode the big military reset, Vision 2047, India's long-term defense blueprint. For decades, the strength of a military was measured by the sheer number of boots on the ground and the size of its fighter jet fleet. But the nature of warfare is changing quick and fast, and India is officially pivoting to meet that very future. Take a look at this. The government has unveiled Defense Vision 2047, a roadmap designed to transform the Indian Armed Forces into a modern, technology-driven powerhouse over the next 2 decades. This isn't just about buying new hardware. It's about a fundamental and a structural shift. The plan introduces 4 brand new tri-service bodies, a dedicated drone force for unmanned warfare, a data force to master artificial intelligence and cyber operations, and a geospatial agency for real-time battlefield intelligence, and a cognitive warfare action force. That's right. And to lead this high-tech charge, the military is looking beyond its own ranks, planning lateral entry for private sector specialists in engineering, in technology, and the roadmap is divided into 3 clear phases as well. By 2030, we will see major structural reforms. By 2040, these new wings will be fully integrated, leading to a total military transformation by the year 2047, the big military reset. Now, the big questions everyone is asking after the recent West Asia conflict: how does India compare with the weapons being used in that region? And what can we learn
from Iran's approach. In air defense, India operates the S-400 system, which can engage targets up to 400 kilometers away. This gives wider coverage than Israel's David Sling medium-range interceptor. In terms of fighter jets, India's Rafale is an advanced 4.5 generation aircraft, but the fifth American F-35 remains ahead in terms of stealth technology. For striking hardened targets, the US uses the GBU-28 bunker buster bombs, whilst India relies on the Spice 2000 precision glide bomb. The American weapon has deeper penetration. And when you're talking about the sea power, the US Nimitz-class nuclear carrier can operate nearly 90 aircraft compared to India's Vikramaditya, which handles around 30. In terms of cruise missiles, the American Tomahawk has a proven range of 2,500 kilometers and long combat record, whilst India's Nirbhay is still catching up in terms of maturity. However, in the drone category, India is strong. Our loitering munitions and swarm-capable systems are competitive and they continue to improve. But at the same time, one has to look at Iran's situation in the same region. Years of sanctions since 1979 have left its air force stuck with 1970s era fighter jets. So Iran built something different. It now has between 2,500 to 3,000 missiles, thousands of drones, underground missile cities, and a strategy of firing large salvos to overwhelm these enemy defenses. This approach, it reduces the risks to pilots and gives Iran strike reach up to 2,000 kilometers without needing modern fighter jets. India faces its own challenges. The Indian Air Force has only 30 to 32 squadrons against the authorized and sanctioned 42. The Rafale fleet is limited to 36 fighter jets, and Tejas production is still slow. That is why India is also pushing hard on its rocket force and the drone units. That's where they come into play. The message from the Vision 2047 docket is clear. India does not want to choose between jets and missiles. It wants to build both at the same time and fight in every domain. We've got an esteemed set of panelists with us on the first segment, and the big question that we are asking, can India offset its fighter jet gap with drones and rockets? To what extent should India adopt the asymmetric warfare tactics that we are seeing in West Asia? Is private sector participation and the lateral entry that's been mentioned in the docket enough to speed up the indigenization of critical technologies? And a lot more. With us on the broadcast, Major General Ashwini Sivach, Defense and Strategic Expert. Many thanks, General, for taking out the time. Air Commodore Ashminder Singh Bahal, Defense and Geopolitical Expert, with us on the broadcast. Many thanks. And Rear Admiral Girish Kumar Garg, Defense and Geopolitical Expert, also with us on the broadcast. Many thanks, Admiral. General, let me get the snowball rolling here. We've got, somebody from the land warfare perspective, somebody from the Navy, somebody from the Air Force. Vision 2047, General Sivach, talks about transforming India's military. It's a big military reset into a multi-domain force. 4 new domains, 3 different phases. And from a land warfare perspective, how important are these new terminologies in modern day warfare, drones, data networks, cyber capabilities for the future of battlefield? How important and significant is the timing of this docket as well, General?
Yeah, Kabir, the timing is very important. And remember, as on today, number of wars are taking place in the world. The Russia-Ukraine war has been now there for more than 4 years. And now this US and Israel attacking on Iran has opened a new era. And before that, there was been a war between India and Pakistan for 4 days. So a lot of lessons have been learned. But one thing one should understand, you can't fight a future war on the experience of your past war. You have to now proceed because technology keeps on changing.
Yeah.
And no two scenarios are same. Now, if I take it, the lesson which we have learned, even on Israel and America war with Iran, this is a non-contact war. There are no ground forces which have been used here. But we must not learn only those lessons which looks very nice that the technology will only take on. There are also boots on ground which makes a difference ultimately. However, if you see Russia-Ukraine war, the ground troops have been used and how effective they were, that also has to be factored in. But the modern technology has to be the main key now. And that's why what mission or 2047 says is you have to have a drone force which will encompass drones as well as loitering ammunition data force. This is the one which will be the cutting edge because you need a critical
Could these
technology.
be for battlefield intelligence and targeting, General? The drone force and the data force that you're talking about?
Yeah, very correct. I am very rightly said, Kabir. And then you have this defense geospatially agencies and then cognitive warfare action force. What is the basically meat of it is that preparing yourself for modern warfare, wherein you'll find a warfare will be completely changed than what we are anticipating today, where technology will play a major role. What this mission 2047 is telling that these technology are not going to be given to you by anyone else. You have to evolve this technology within. Atam Nirbhar Bharat is the crunch point. That is where the importance comes. The second thing is rocket force. What we have seen is that will. And another which very important for us is we have to see our adversary. Our adversary